We are going live here with the developers of Collateral Damage, and we're just in the process of trying to figure out how exactly we can get their game up on the stream, because it's tough to get it onto the secondary monitor because Unity wants to force it onto the primary monitor. So,
okay, I found the options in the player settings for windowed and resizable windows, so I have set those, and now I'm going to export the build. Build onto desktop, Collateral Damage, select folder.
Okay, we'll give you a chance to focus on that. And Errol, if you don't mind, in the meantime, can you start to describe perhaps how it was that you came up with the idea for this game?
So it was actually, there's a team of 5 of us that,
okay.
Funny enough, almost none of us knew each other. We just all knew Harrison. Harrison kind of brought us all together maybe about, I want to say a month and a half, 2. And we actually decided, and as soon as we heard the theme, was to kind of sit down and scribble out any idea that just kind of came to our head. We actually have a public Trello board where you can actually even see our past game ideas and everything, and brainstorms and our first vote winners and everything. So from there, we went to everybody got 5 votes to pick which one they thought was the best. We moved on to the next one, and then everybody got 5 votes again to decide between 2 different ones that we had. And we kind of figured we had 2 games we really, really liked that we wanted to do, but also time constraints kind of fit. And we're like, what can we make happen faster? Because we've never done a game jam before. The time constraint can definitely get in the way.
But
because in the ending, I think I'm super happy we went with the idea we did. And it's gotten some pretty good feedback so far.
Excellent.
Pretty happy with that for the first game of all of us working together and not even seeing half of each other's faces until after the jam was over and we jumped on a Discord call together.
Yeah, well, for anyone who wants to try the game for themselves,
what you meant.
Yeah, I've got the link up here on the stream. So if anyone wants to try the game for themselves, it seems like they can't hear me. I can still hear them. Harrison, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, so it's just Errol. Okay, you can hear me now?
Hey, sorry about that.
Cool, no problem. We could still hear you until the very end, but
okay.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for confirming. That's awesome. I love the idea of a tournament elimination of ideas.
I kind of got the idea from I used to work as a web developer at a company in Toronto, and we were doing a sprint planning meeting, and it kind of had this very similar format where we had everyone would make an idea, but silently on their own with a timer set for 10, 15 minutes. Just make your ideas. And then we'd throw them all up on a sort of a common shared board.
Yeah.
And everyone would vote on the ideas that they liked. And then we'd move on to the next round and do the next round. And so I kind of borrowed that idea from that sprint planning meeting because I liked how it was kind of brainstorming sort of separately and then bringing it kind of together, which kind of prevented a lot of the sort of time sink of brainstorming as a group that can happen when everyone's just throwing out ideas and then we discuss each idea individually. Where if we just all come up with our elevator pitches and then have 10 minutes to kind of vote on the ones that we like and have a certain number of votes. So if you like an idea especially well, you can dump a bunch of your votes into it. And then we moved on to just a couple of rounds, and then we ended up with 2 final ideas. So there's the idea that you see now, Collateral Damage, and then the other idea was personally actually my favorite, but it was kind of tough for the scope of the jam. It was your character turns into a monster at night, like a werewolf kind of, and you have to design you have to during the daytime make your house impossible to escape. So when you turn into a monster, the monster can't escape and kill people. Kind of like a reverse tower defense.
Interesting.
But we decided to go with the idea with Collateral Damage because for the scope of 48-hour game jam, it seemed like the most and within the scope of our abilities, it seemed like the best way to go about it. By the way, I just sent you a Dropbox link to a windowed version of the game.
Excellent. So hopefully I can get that up on stream real quick. While I focus on that, I do just want to quickly call attention to, I like the idea of voting on these ideas, because I've previously worked in a game jam team where we tried the design by committee approach, and that was kind of a disaster, and then I got sick and couldn't participate in the jam anyway. So I think the idea of everyone coming up with their own idea and then being able to step up and pitch it to the rest of the team, I think that's a great idea for anyone else who's going to be working in a larger jam team. So yeah, this is exactly why I wanted to ask these kind of questions and get this kind of feedback. So what was your actual development process on the game itself?
So we have that Trello, I guess. If you want, let me open it up because it is public. And if you, you got the link already?
Yeah, I just sent it to him.
Okay, so yeah, if you wanted to like post that in the chat or something, so other people could check it out. But we made it public because we thought it might be interesting for people to look at.
I just pulled it up on the stream.
It kind of covers like everything that we've done, like how we sort of laid everything out. We started with like a basic schedule to kind of stick to that. Like it was a pretty tight schedule in the beginning when it comes to just like doing the brainstorming, then doing the voting, then planning out the initial milestone tasks. We had 4 major milestones as well. What was I gonna say? I was watching the game come up on your screen.
Okay, I hope that's not too loud for everyone. I reduced the audio, but that might also reduce your audio. I'm going to mess with the actual levels of the audio here, because I don't want... Okay, you can't hear the game. How about now? I might have just made everyone way too quiet. Yeah, I guess I can't hear anyone.
Oh, I haven't spoken.
Okay.
Okay, I can hear the game now.
I'm gonna... Okay, yeah, too loud, yeah. Has that reduced the audio for the game? Because according to Windows...
Yes, it sounds better.
Okay. Yes, still too loud. Okay, I'm gonna try cranking it down a little bit more. Fine for the game. Okay, and then if you guys can try talking again.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, can everybody hear our guests? Excellent. All right. Sorry if so there we go. I didn't mean to interrupt you discussing. Right. This was also something that kind of threw me off, was the fact that it's WASD, but it's W to move in the direction that you're pointing.
Mm-hmm. So originally we had it WASD northeast southwest.
Yeah.
But one of our other design leads, he tried it out with the tank controls, and he said that originally with the north, south, east, west, it was finding it a little too easy for people to navigate the level, especially if you played the level multiple times. But with the tank controls, it kind of adds to the chaos and kind of gives it that. I don't know if you've ever played the game Octodad, but it's just kind of like unintentional chaos that happens, and that's kind of vibe we wanted to go for, was that you are out of control of this gun and you need to get it as fast as you can out, making the least amount of chaos possible. So we found that with the tank controls, even though they feel kind of goofy at first and a little hard to wrap your brain around, people eventually kind of got used to it and ended up kind of making the game have that chaotic feel that we wanted.
I think you can basically see my strategy, which I bet is what a lot of other people do, in that they just ram themselves up against a wall to prevent the gun from hitting something. And I'm basically controlling my character by only holding forward.
Yeah, I found myself doing that a lot as well. We're like, I suppose like it might be something we'll revisit because we did get a lot of comments on it. Plus, there's also like the whole like ramming things up against the wall. Originally, in the first level, we had ricochet, like bullet ricochet, be something that the player had right off the bat instead of just something that you later chose as an upgrade. Like you could choose an upgrade for ricochet, and it would add to the ricochet, add like an extra bounce.
Oh, yeah, there it goes.
But currently we had that like the first level ricochet on in the first part of the game, so that way it would make it a little bit more difficult. But then we kind of decided against it, so that way there wouldn't be too much chaos right off the bat. But then we realized that nobody was like, from watching people play it and listening to the comments, that we realized that nobody would pick ricochet once they realized how devastating it would be. So we kind of like, we want to give that feeling of being out of control, but we also give a lot of control to the player. Are you? Oh, damn it! Are you stuck?
I'm trapped.
You can either kill yourself on the fire barrel, or you can bounce.
Yeah,
off
I tried to add some windows to make that a little bit more easier to escape, because I got stuck in playtesting that, and I was trying to make it a little bit easier to escape, but it looks like it might need some work.
Well, that's the nature of the beast, right? If it's a game jam, then it's bound to have some rough edges, but no big deal. How many levels? What have I just done? I think I've trapped myself again. Okay, well, that's fine.
If you ricochet off the left pillar, you should be able to hit the button.
Oh, wow. Let's see if I can line that up. Is there any particularly... Oh, I just ricocheted off and dealt some damage. Oh, boy. Is there any particularly interesting like hack or something that you did that you used in this game that you wouldn't be caught dead doing in a actual development game or project?
I'd say like actually when it comes to the door switches and some of the hazards, like they were kind of like quickly built. In fact, like the script for the doors is actually in a folder called Bad Scripts Don't Touch, because I wrote it very quickly, and it's called like the bad door script. And same with the exit for each level. It's just the bad exit script, because like I don't know. I was like, I need to make these work, but I don't know. Like I don't think there's really like a specific way I should be doing this. So I'm just gonna write it as quickly as possible. Oh hell yeah! Nice. Very careful. Okay, so there's one more button to your left. In the room to your left.
Oh, okay, there it is at the beginning of the level. Okay, well, I kind of shot any chance of getting a high score on this, but, yeah, I think everyone's familiar with that sort of particular game jam spaghetti code. Everything is tied to everything else, like...
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Did you need to cut or change anything in order to finish the game on time?
Yes. Originally, fire barrels weren't a thing. Originally, they were... electrical damage. So if you damage a piece of equipment, there would be like an AoE electrical area that you couldn't get into. But like if you did, it would kind of stun you and do some damage. But due to time constraints, we were just like, we need to throw something there. What do we do? We got this fire barrel. Yeah, sure. Let's just toss it in.
Yeah, and that fire barrel is not even like we got some assets from this sci-fi assets pack, but we realized it wasn't really top down, and so we made like new versions of most of the assets. But then because we quickly needed to add this one hazard, we just threw in like the old asset of the fire barrel, which is just like this massive tanker. Like it's not supposed to be that big, but it needed to fit 4 tiles. So also, what you're experiencing in this level right now.
Yeah,
I can see it in your face.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be visible one-way tiles.
Oh,
that, like,
okay.
make it so you can only go in one direction, and it's a bit of a puzzle room. And when you can see the tiles, it makes a lot more sense. But for some reason, they aren't being rendered on top of the level, and so you can't see them. So you just have one-way invisible walls, which is a complaint we got in the comments a lot, understandably, because if you can't see the tiles, you have no idea how to like navigate this room.
They were also literally added like 5
last
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't that always the way that it's always those last minute additions that are like, uh-oh, and that just broke everything. And I also can't. Oh, there we go. I finally got the switch. Okay, I just need to figure out how to actually get there. Okay, well, I'm going to throw it over to questions in the chat momentarily, so I'd like people to start submitting their questions. But just before I do, I wanted to ask if you have any plans for this game going forward.
I think we're actually meeting later today to discuss some polish and stuff, because I know for most of us, if not all of us, this is probably like the first game we actually have fully completed. Like most game developers, where we all have I know most of the coders have like folders full of prototypes and unfinished projects and whatnot. Earlier this year, I was working on a game that you play through Twitch that is still almost done. In fact, it is kind of done. It just needs a little bit more work, but yeah, it's just kind of like still not completely finished. So this is the first one that we've kind of gotten like from A to B on, and we would like to polish it up so that way we can put it in a portfolio. So I think we've got some plans to discuss that today and maybe make a new Trello board for next steps. I guess I'm seeing in the chat, how big is the team? What role does everyone play? But I'll let right. This is your interview. I don't want to. Yeah.
No, I mean that's great. I mean, I was just going to move on to questions from the chat after you finished answering the questions. So by all means, take the questions you want.
Okay, so I guess I'll answer how big is the team, what role does everyone play. So the team is 5 people. We had a bit of like overlap, because when we were planning the jam, I asked everybody in the group to vote on 2 things that they wanted to do as part of the jam, like 2 sort of roles that they wanted. One is their kind of like their main role, and the second one's their secondary kind of like do it if they have time role. Mm-hmm. So everyone voted on those. We had 3 main programmers, 2 sort of game designers, level designers, which was Errol and Josh. Josh was also another programmer. We had Andrew doing art. And Errol also did a lot of the looking for like sound assets and art assets. Oh yeah, sometimes the game will freeze at the beginning of the level. You will die, and the level will restart.
Is that a GC spike?
Give it a second. It should just restart.
How many levels are there?
There's 8.
8, yeah.
Oh boy,
hopefully the level will just restart. Okay, yeah, it's fine.
Now you're unlocked, yeah.
But you look like you took a substantial health hit. I have no idea why.
Yeah. Like, we spent the most amount of time getting the game going to the point where we didn't get to do a proper like QA bug test. But either way, we're happy it ended up getting done, and we got it in on time, at least to a standard that we wanted to get in, like, submitted. Sorry, I kind of stuttered up there a little bit, but yeah, no. We're gonna talk about things we want to fix, things we want to change today. Definitely looking at player feedback a lot, and probably add like a HUD or something, or an indicator to show when you're damaged. Because I find a lot of people are like, I can just get through this. Nothing hurts me.
Yeah, maybe a health bar like in the actual main HUD for the game, like something like actually like bigger and kind of maybe in one of the corners of the screen.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good call, because I can see it. I can see the health bar on the character, and I can see that I'm moments away from death, but oh, there's the last switch. I bet I have to hit that.
Okay.
Let's see. Does anyone from your team work in the games industry outside of jams?
Kind of me. And I say kind of because, while I don't work at like a game development company, I have created a number of tutorials. I've authored 2 courses for a website called Pluralsight. That does a lot of technical tutorials. So just how to like make augmented reality and virtual reality experiences with Unity. And I am writing a tutorial for this company called Ray Winderlich. It's German last name. But how to use the visual effects graph in Unity. So like my experience is more in the educational sort of sector, I suppose. and I'm kind of just staying freelance for a little while as I personally learn more to kind of before I feel like truly ready to be in the industry full time.
Okay, cool.
I know
Errol,
Josh
yourself?
is also looking to get in.
Myself, actually, I work in kind of in entertainment. I work in majority is TV, live stream, film, commercials. I have more of like an entertainment background and like that kind of sense. Formerly, I used to do sound editing and post-production. So I'm familiar with like some of like the post-production workflows, but it's definitely not something that I intend to live in that sense. But yeah, I don't. Game design has always been something that I've wanted to be a part of, and I play a lot of video games, so I always thought, you know, one day it would be cool to make one. And it was awesome meeting Harrison, and where he kind of makes that dream a reality.
Awesome. Well, if there anything you guys want to plug, any Twitter handles, I'm going to go back to your page here because I'm going to have these up on the stream. Everyone can see those. But yeah, just as we wrap up here, any closing thoughts?
I guess if you are interested in game dev / absolute nonsense tweets, you can follow me on Twitter at HarrisSandwich. Same on Twitch if you want to see game development live plus some gameplay. I've been doing a lot of streaming of Game Jam games, except work picked up the last couple of days, so I haven't been able to do that. But like, if you want to see some Game Jam games and even just other indie games, I was doing that Humble Bundle for racial justice and equality, which is like 1,000 and like or like 1,600 plus games. And I've been playing them like 10 minutes a game. If you want to check that out. And yeah, I guess I also just want to say I'm very impressed with the Jam so far with the games that I've been playing. It's been really cool.
Excellent. And Errol?
I too do streaming. Mostly do retro games or party games with my girlfriend, and you can catch me there on Twitch /Errol333. Pretty much. I'm excited to see more games, and I'm excited to the outcome of the Game Jam here. I've definitely seen a lot of cool games and met a lot of cool people just via chat and stuff. And it's definitely excited for next year to kind of take what we learned from this year and apply it and see what we can come up with next time.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining the stream today. I've just put the link to your game in chat, and it's going to be up on screen for a moment yet. And as per the recommendations of the chat, I will not go offline for this next break, but we're going to be back at 10:30 interviewing the only Rio and his game Sprawl. So please do look forward to that. And thank you guys. Thank you both, Harrison and Errol, for joining me today. And best of luck with the game going forward.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.